What's up, guys? Welcome back. Dr. Jaws here, and tonight we are studying the Mandarin Dogfish, which is... Hey, Howard, what's up, man? Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend, a good Halloween weekend. I very much am enjoying these Halloween shark nights. This one is going to be really cool. This one is kind of more like... I don't know, just like it's like a mysterious, odd-looking shark, and it's actually a very unique group. So this genus Cirrhigaleus, there's only 3 species, and they're cousins of dogfish. They're sort of technically a kind of dogfish, but they are very odd-looking. So it's pretty cool to be diving into it. So. But thank you so much for your art as well. This looks really great, and I really love that you captured so well the high spines of this species. So, really beautiful illustration of the Mandarin Dogfish with a deep water stingray. So, thank you so much for sending this over. My biggest thing, by the way, the speckles. They are... Sorry, my voice kind of cracked just now. That was weird. But this species has multiple kind of color morphs, and what's cool is that there's actually footage on YouTube of this shark. There's actually quite a few. I think they're all aquaria footage, and most of them are actually the same source, but there's actually like a showcase of different morphs, and there was one spotted morph of the Mandarin Dogfish that it threw me off for a little bit because I was like, well, wait a minute, is this the same species? But like we've said, color is not always the best indicator in terms of telling a shark apart. It's usually other features in terms of like the size and the proportion of fins and spines, and how things are relative to each other. So, point being, thank you so much for creating a piece of art with a speckled morph of the Mandarin Dogfish. That's really cool, like a really cool detail, and not a very common morph, I feel, because I think most depictions of the Mandarin Dogfish are like a slate gray. So. But yeah, thank you so much for sending this over. This is super cool. Did you have a good weekend? Because I have a funny random little shout out that's completely not shark related. I just like the spotted morph. Cool. This is completely random, but I had some dear friends visit for the weekend, and they were visiting from New York, so they were just crashing at my place. And we were, doing Halloween things and just kind of like, hanging out. But we watched the 2023 Haunted Mansion, which is very good. I mean, it's not like amazing, but it's a really solid film. And it's got a very low score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a shocking 37% or something, which that's a crime. I'm really saddened by that. This movie slaps. It's really good. It has a lot of great actors in it, pretty stacked cast. So yeah, if anybody is... I just want to do a shout out for this movie and bring more attention to it, because I think what happened... I know this is totally random, but like it just kind of caught my interest. I think what happened, it was this movie came out around the same time as Barbie and Oppenheimer, and the dreaded, or the fated, I guess, Barbenheimer dominated the box office, and I think that might have kind of like negatively impacted this film. But this movie is really cool. I just want to give it a shout out. It is on Disney Plus, and yeah, please give it a look. It's a pretty solid film. If you're a fan of the Haunted Mansion ride, or if you want something that's like kind of spooky but not too scary, something fun for the family, I definitely recommend this film a lot, and I just want to give more attention to it because it's pretty great. So, random shout out for the Haunted Mansion. Just had to do that. Go Haunted Mansion. So, speaking of Haunted Mansions, we got a really cool background. I haven't heard of this channel before, called Elemental Soundworks. But I feel like there's a lot of like ambient room YouTube channels, and it's kind of hard to pick one because a lot of them do just the same thing. But this one is really cool, so I just want to shout out to Elemental Soundworks for making Dracula's Undead Room, which is kind of like fun music for tonight. So, but yeah. Hey, Roy, what's up? Oh, whoa, wait a minute. I think I just saw an interesting comment. Oh, So for the Green Inferno. I have not seen that movie, but I've heard a lot of things about that movie. So wow, Howard, wild. Oh, I'm sorry, and I just saw your comment dealing with a cold right now. I hope you feel better, man. Yeah, sorry about that. So, but hope you have a quick recovery, and just like how'd you? This is really random. How'd you like the Green Inferno? Because like that is I've heard a lot about that film, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hi, Roy. Did you have a good weekend, Roy? And I don't know if you got a chance to see Howard's art, but it looks super cool. I like Howard. I really like the color layering in your process, where it's not just like one thing. It's like you can kind of see this nice layer on the lateral line. The fins have these like nice little like orange like tips and stuff. Like it looks. I mean, it's really cool. Like I really appreciate all the time put into all of these pieces. So, and it just like as a kind of a sneak preview. Again, I'm saving all of these. There's a very strong probability these are going to be together in a holiday special. So stay tuned for that as we get closer to the holidays. But I really love this time of year because I feel like October is like the first major holiday month, and it's just like it just gets better and better from there. So Green Inferno is a bit shocking, but I like the anthropological themes. Interesting. That reminds me a little bit of this is a weird movie, but Apocalypto, and I think historians hate that movie because Apocalypto, which is directed by Mel Gibson, I think it confuses different cultures and different time periods in terms of the history. So it's like the Mayan collapse, but it's not 100% accurate because it's just there's certain things that happen in that movie that should not be happening around that time period. So, but it's an interesting watch. Yeah, I just like comment, love Apocalypto. I enjoy it too. It's also a rare film. Like I feel like or not rare, but it's like it's hard to get. Like it's hard to find it streaming anywhere or renting it. I think the last time I saw it was like literally on a DVD. I think that one is kind of like unusually harder to find. But I do really like sort of like the survival themes in it. Roy, my last Saturday shift was packed. There was a 2-hour line built up for the Yukon Striker roller coaster. Oh man, that sounds crazy. Oh my gosh, it's kind of funny. Like down here, like kind of near like where I'm in the Chesapeake Bay. There's Busch Gardens Williamsburg has Hallow Scream, and that is attracting a lot of people right now. I've talked about it a lot, I think, especially this time of year. But it's getting crazy. Just like in the Williamsburg area, that's getting like really crazy. So because everybody loves the spooky stuff for Hallow Scream. I might be going the Halloween weekend. We will see. I won't be going on the rides. But man, hope you had a cool like Sunday night though, and like a cool break after that crazy weekend, Roy. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and check out. We actually got quite a few pieces of footage on the Mandarin Dogfish. Now all of these are in a tank, and so I'm curious how much of this species behavior is affected by tank life. And most of this is by the same YouTuber, Sujita. There's a couple other there's one more video that it looks like it's also from I'm assuming this is Japanese. I think this is Japanese YouTuber. But it is interesting nonetheless, even though this isn't a tank, you can still see details on the species. So the first one immediately prominent is the barbels. So this is a dogfish, or a kind of dogfish that has like really long nasal barbels. Probably the longest as far as any sharks go, as far as I can think of, because nurse sharks don't have. Whoop, it's actually a pretty short clip. Nurse sharks don't have barbels nearly as long. And wobegones have the tassels, But as far as like a singular barbel, it's kind of it really. The second thing you can kind of see in this clip is that the dorsal spines are enormous on this shark. We could probably get a better view in a different clip. There we go. See, look how huge the dorsal spines are. And what's kind of cool is like this is like a very, in a weird way, it's kind of like an elegant species in terms of like having these like really superlative features, you know, and like I feel like kind of like aesthetically like the dorsal spines and the barbels they kind of like counterbalance each other. It's actually an oddly very beautiful shark, just as far as like proportion goes, which is really cool. And you notice it's chunkier than its cousin Squalus. So like pike dogfish, you know, are a little bit more narrow in build. This kind of group Cirrhigaleus has like kind of like more of like a hunchback or like a humpback, almost like sand tigers a little bit. And I feel like I keep talking about sand tigers and keep comparing things to sand tigers, but oh, it's a pretty great shark. So. This slow movement and slow swimming, I don't know how natural that is in terms of like how much of that is influenced by the tank environment and that not being a very, you know, stimulating environment maybe. But then again, there's a lot of different species in this tank, so and also, I mean, this is kind of a deeper water shark, so maybe this isn't too far off from what it typically does, because it is, you know, kind of, if it lives in like a deep water environment, usually they kind of want to conserve energy, so, and not move too quickly. It really is a beautiful shark. I actually have quite a few clips, just to kind of see what we can see. I also love in these shots that there's like a spider crab kind of moving around. And there's actually a oh, I was about to say this is a smoothhound back here, but I can't see an anal fin, so actually that might be a dogfish, another dogfish. But this guy is kind of more of like a pinky beige morph, and then we had like a darker colored morph. And what's kind of cool is that it looks like it's neutrally buoyant. Oh, that is a dogfish. Yeah, that's totally dogfish back there. Like the fast swimming thing. It's not really moving forward, and I don't see like a current, which is kind of interesting. But again, I don't know how much of that would be natural and how much of that is influenced by a tank environment. This species has beautiful eyes, like pretty large, beautiful eyes, and actually fairly large spiracles, really close to the eyes, actually. Gill slits right in front of the pectoral fins, but pretty far back from you know, the head. Proportionally. And again, it's kind of like a girthy shark, which is kind of cool. It's actually cool to compare this to like the dogfish right there in the back, because let me go ahead and pause that, because that's kind of a cool view of what I mean by like Squalus, and I'm assuming this is a Squalus. This looks, yeah, it's gotta be a Squalus. Yeah, this is a Squalus. What am I saying? This is totally Squalus. So Squalus, as you can see back here, it definitely is a much more narrow build, and this is like the classic dogfish. But Cirrhigaleus is a lot, you know, chunkier and larger, and you know, they're closely related. But it's kind of cool to see that difference, and you know want to wonder why. Like, why would it? You know, why does this species, or why does this genus Cirrhigaleus kind of like have a little bit more chunk to him? This is kind of hard to see because there's a lot of like rippling in the water and like dappling of the light. But that almost looks like, though I guess it's a tank. It's a really pretty tank. That's actually a really good feature. Whoever designed this tank, that actually looks really, really good. It's kind of cool seeing this guy is sticking close to the bottom, and he's moving a little bit faster. But I think probably my favorite clip, this is a bit of a different YouTuber, or sorry, it's a different YouTuber. Oh, let's go ahead and subscribe. Sorry, support this. This is a Specklomorph, which Howard had in his art, which is super cool. And again, most of the images I think have like kind of the slate gray color, or just like kind of like that plain color. But I didn't realize that this species actually had a different kind of pattern on it. Now, what's a little weird is the first dorsal fin spine is, it looks like it's clipped off, and I really hope it isn't. But the second dorsal spine, fin spine, is conserved, so I double checked making sure this is not like a different species or anything, and it's not. It's the same Cirrhigaleus barbifer, the same Mandarin Dogfish. So I don't know if that fin spine got broken off or clipped off, and I really hope it was not clipped off. I'll be curious to see. I know other dogfish, they do arch their backs and poke their spines out if they're being handled by people, just as a defensive mechanism. So I'm kind of curious if maybe something similar happened in this scenario. But this is actually a really beautiful clip. I definitely want to replay it again, because you can see a pretty clear picture of some of the species features. The eyes are a little bulging actually, which is kind of cool. This is a beautiful shark. It's so interesting looking, and it's just like swimming under the spider crabs. That's really cool. Yeah, let's check that out again, because that was actually really, really cool. And look how like the gills and like the head is kind of like wedged out. You know, I know I keep saying this, but that like, it's a completely different group, but that actually looks a lot like sand tigers, just how porky this is and like how hunchback this is. It's a completely different group, but it's kind of cool seeing that there's a similar morphology going on, like kind of like this narrowing of the head, like these kind of like this big humpback, you know, just kind of like like the gills bulging out a little bit. It's really cool. What I like about this particular clip, as the shark turns, you can actually really clearly see the lateral line there, right there. Really, really beautiful, very sharp. They're very well demarcated. And I'm really glad this clip exists, because it's kind of a rare species, like rare to uncommon. It's not really, there's not a lot out there on it, so I'm really glad we were actually able to find footage. And also, Roy, thank you for the suggestion. This was I think this was the shark that you suggested 2 weeks ago. So this was a really, really cool pick, because this group is very unfamiliar to me. Cirrhigaleus is pretty new, so. Let's catch up on the comments. Let's see. Oh, good question. Roy, can dogfish spines grow back? I would assume yes. Actually, that's a really good question. Because like, I would assume yes, if the spines are made of keratin. If it's cartilage, I don't know. But I'm assuming that like spines are made of keratin. That's a really, really good question. Let's let me play this one more time. I just wanted to search that really quickly on my phone because that's an excellent question. Hmm. That's an excellent anatomy question. Whew. You know what? I'm not seeing anything in terms of what it's made out of. That's an excellent question, Roy. Uh, well, okay. Because I think, if I'm remembering correctly, you can use the spines to age a shark, and if you can do that, then it wouldn't be made out of keratin. It would probably be made out of like the cartilage, so it might be kind of a permanent feature. Let's put a pin in that because that is a fantastic question in terms of anatomy. I've never thought about that before. I'll just check the sharks of the world really quick if there's any info on that, but I don't know. Actually, I am on a fin spine page. So, whoop, what am I doing? Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm so sorry. I'm definitely taking the study party literally because I'm actually studying this right now. I promise I'll spend like 5 seconds on this, and then if I can't find it, then we'll move on. It's an excellent question. Okay, shark fins are supported at their base by substantial cartilaginous basal and radial rods, and by the vertebrae in the upper lobe of the caudal fin. Most of the outer fin web, however, is supported and stiffened by fine, elongated fibers of collagenous tissue known as serratotrichia, and some of the bony spines found in teleos fishes. These long, unsegmented fibers, which are similar to keratin, the protein that makes up hair and nails, occurs in all shark fins, but particularly densely packed into the lower caudal lobe of fast-moving sharks, which has little radial cartilage. Okay, so maybe it does. Maybe it is. If it is partially made out of keratin, then maybe the spines can grow back. I don't know. That is an excellent question. All right, yeah. Let's keep an eye out for that as we. Both on this stream and then like future streams for Dogfish. Let's definitely keep an eye out for that. But thank you so much for asking that because like I never even thought about that before in terms of like can spines grow back and do spines kind of have the same material? I'm like do they have the same material as far as fins go? Because I feel like if spines are used for aging, it's probably or as far as teeth go, if spines are used for aging, it's probably more robust than teeth and therefore maybe harder to replace than teeth. But it's an excellent question, so thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely kind of keep an eye on that. So, and actually, you know what? I think I have some powers. Let me see if I can make a cool little box. Hold on, I think I could do this in this display. I think I have powers. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let's put this one up here. Let's make that a little bit smaller. Because I want to know that someday. What are dogfish spines made of? For example, keratin. All right, so this is a quandary that we will keep up here, and we'll see if we can solve it because that's a really cool question. So, all right. So just catching up on some comments. Oh my gosh, Alice Cooper riot! Wow. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. This is a what was that park name? Canada's Wonderland. That is so cool. Sorry, Howard. That's just catching up on that story. That's super cool. So, all right. So Mandarin shark. This species, even though it's kind of rare, it's least concern. So apparently, Mandarin shark or Mandarin dogfish is doing pretty well. I actually kind of like Mandarin shark a little bit better as a name. It just sounds kind of cooler. Not that it really matters. Mandarin dogfish is the official English name. And it's probably a bit more accurate in terms of like what group this species is part of. But Mandarin shark sounds really cool. I had a laugh earlier because I think I saw moustache shark. There we go. Yeah, in French it's squale moustache or squale moustache. I don't know how you say that in French, but I'm assuming that literally translates to mustache shark. And I actually, if we do discover a new species of Cirrhigaleus, I really hope the official English name becomes mustache shark. Although then again, Mandarin shark, Mandarin dogfish, far more elegant and far more appropriate for this species, which is actually quite a beautiful species. So, but yeah, apparently it is doing okay. This lives on the southern coast of Japan, around Taiwan, parts of Indonesia. I thought this was also in Australia, but I guess not. I don't see this on the IUCN Red List map, so it looks like this species is only in this part of the Indo-Pacific. So Japan, Taiwan, and parts of Indonesia. So interesting. So, but yeah, let's see what we got here. As far as least concern, Mandarin shark is a small shark with patchy distribution from Japan and Indonesia. It is demersal on the continental slope at depths of 146 to 795 meters, so that's lower sunlit zone, mostly Twilight Zone. Species is potential bycatch of demersal longline fisheries off Japan and Taiwan, and a known bycatch from these fisheries in Indonesia, where it's retained for human consumption. It has been recently captured by deepwater demersal gillnet at 300 meters in the Tokyo Submarine Canyon. Sounds awesome. However, the threat of catching this fishery is minor, as only one fishery has been known to operate in that area since the 1980s. It is possibly a naturally rare species, recorded from only 3 specimens in Taiwan, and also reported as rarely captured in Indonesia, or interactions with commercial fisheries are limited. This is a morphologically distinct species that is likely to be noted if captured or landed. There is no evidence of population decline. The species is not suspected to be close to reaching the population reduction threshold, and the Mandarin shark is assessed as least concern. So that's actually pretty cool. It's a mysterious shark in a... I mean, it is in a heavily fished area, but it's a mysterious shark that seems to be okay for the most part. So I like that it's rare, and yet, you know, we got some cool clips of it here and there. So that's actually pretty cool. Let's see. For the Latin name Cirrhigaleus, cirrus means curl fringe, and galeus means shark, so I guess curly fringy shark. I'm assuming that's probably talking about the barbels as a prominent feature. And then I don't see anything about barbifer. I'm assuming barbifer is Latin for barbels, so I don't know. Let's see. Fish base is saying it probably feeds on bottom fishes and some invertebrates. Ovoviviparous, so this is a species that has eggs and kind of like has like eggs that hatch inside the female shark, and then those hatched sharks actually then are, or like the mother shark gives birth to the sharks that have hatched inside her. It sounds really gross, but ovoviviparous is one of the 3 modes of reproduction as far as sharks go. And I don't know. Someday we got to figure out which one is kind of. I feel like viviparous, like live birth, is the most common, and I feel like egg-laying sharks are kind of not as common. But I saw a cool pie chart that compared how many species, like proportionally, have each mode. So, but anyway, moving on. Let's see. 10 young in a litter, 5 per uterus. Not much else on it in terms of how fish base goes. And sharkreferences.com. Most of these names are in the different languages are Mandarin shark or variations of Mandarin shark, except for squale moustache. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but let's see. Recognized by its tremendous Mandarin-like nasal barbels. And look at this. This map is actually interesting because it's talking about Australia and New Zealand. So the IUCN Red List map only has Japan, Taiwan, and Indonesia. But this map is showing Australia and New Zealand. So we should keep an eye out for that. Ooh. These are cool. So these are the teeth. And what's interesting about this tooth type, it's like a very, very, very flattened version of kind of what the pike dogfish has. Like super, super flat though. So I'm assuming these teeth probably are on kind of like a I'm assuming they're working in the same way where they're really kind of on this like, what do you say? How do you say it? It kind of works as one unit. It's not like each tooth is like breaking down different parts of the prey item. It's like this works as kind of like one, like when they're all together in the same row, it works as one single blade. And I'm assuming because these teeth are very low, probably might help with like maybe crunching something, like or like crushing something like shellfish. Maybe it makes kind of like a flat pavement kind of thing when they're all together in multiple rows. So I could be wrong, but I just think it's really interesting that the tooth, the tooth is like distinctly flat, and it has a cool like recurved edge here. But like the top, like the crown of the tooth is like super, super flat at the top. So pretty unique tooth type. I don't think we've ever seen a shark quite like this. Like we've definitely had sharks with a recurve, but I don't think we've ever had a shark with just a flat, completely flat top as far as the tooth goes. So it's pretty cool. Mandarin shark is chillin'. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you've ever seen Fantastic Beasts 3, but my friends and I watched that this weekend just for fun. It's not a good movie at all, but there's a mythological character, and it's spelled Quilin. And I do think that the correct pronunciation is chillin', but we were laughing our heads off because it's like, you know, there was a bunch of wizards like talking about like the chillin' is important, get the chillin' unites us. Like it was cracking me up. So the sponsor shark for Movember, yeah, nice, absolutely. Oh my gosh, love it. Australia has a separate species. Oh, interesting, Howard. Cool. So I wonder if maybe that's what's going on here then. If maybe this map is outdated, so maybe IUCN Red List is recognizing the species split. So yeah, let's keep an eye out for that as we look through the research. So there's not a lot of images on the species. This is a really damaged. It's a good high definition photo, but very damaged. Individual as far as preservatives go, but I wonder how close we can kind of get to that spine without pixelating it too much, but that's not like really looking super good, so it's looking pretty pixely to me. But it is pretty wild, you know, how high that spine is relative to the dorsal fin. It's almost right at the apex for the first dorsal fin. And then this is definitely damaged, but I think the spine exceeding the second dorsal fin is something that we saw. Let's double check that in some of the clips. We won't watch the whole things, yeah, even though they're pretty short, but just want to check that out. I don't think we could see the second dorsal fin spine in this one. Here we go. We could probably see it in this. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like the second dorsal fin spine is actually as tall. It's almost as tall as the dorsal fin. Almost there. It's pretty much there, I think. Like, kind of right there. First dorsal fin spine is almost touching the apex. Second dorsal fin spine is kind of there. That's pretty cool. Let's check out one more clip. Just want to get a nice view. Oh, yeah, I guess not. Yeah, so I guess I was like a damaged individual. Because in this clip, like, the second dorsal fin spine is not quite at the top of the dorsal fin. So, interesting. So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, preserved sharks, I mean, they're helpful in fisheries collections, maybe to get a DNA sample or to compare certain aspects of morphology, but you can see how much preservatives really, really affect an individual and just damage a specimen. So, yeah. So there's actually quite a few papers on the species. So let's see what we have. We have Untangling the Systemic Dilemma Behind the Rough-Skinned Spur Dog with Phylogeny of Squalidae. We got this thing. The Effect of Habitat on Modern Shark Diversification, which we could look into. Sounds kind of cool. What is this? Annotate a checklist of the Chondrichthyans of Taiwan. I think there's like a short thing about this. Let's see. Only a few records of the species exist in Taiwan. Sporadic distribution in the western northern Pacific from Indonesia to Japan. Previously considered to occur off southern Australia and New Zealand, but this was recently described as a separate species, Cirrhigaleus australis. Nice. Good call, Howard. So that's, yeah, you were absolutely right. So this is actually, that's exactly what happened. Where'd that map go? This map is outdated. So this is actually... This is the true map of the Mandarin Dogfish, and there's a different kind of cousin down in Australia and New Zealand. So really cool. Good call on that. This is kind of cool, actually. This is pretty short, so I do kind of want to start with this too. This is Proceedings of the Linnaean Society of New South Wales. So this actually might be talking about Cirrhigaleus australis, so the separate species, but let's just take a look at this for a second. Let's see. Cirrhigaleus barbifer, distinguished by extremely long nasal barbels and by a lack of precaudal pits, was known only from 2 Japanese specimens until Garrick and Paul recorded 3 from New Zealand. And again, this is probably the separate. This is probably australis, so the other species, the new one, and know the existence of at least 4 others from Japan. Let's see. The example from off Brush Island represents the first record from Australia. So again, this is probably a different species. Interesting. Oh no. Point out. Okay. In 1971, Garrick and Paul commented on the close similarities between Squalus and Cirrhigaleus, but regarded the latter as valid. Bass et al. Pointed out that the recently described Squalus asper, which might be Cirrhigaleus asper, bridges the gap between the 2 genera and conclude that they should probably be merged. For the present, however, I retain the genus Cirrhigaleus while emphasizing its close relationship with Squalus asper. Interesting. Just out of curiosity, I don't know. I think they're talking about Cirrhigaleus asper, but let's check that out really quick. Also, random Halloween question. What are like things that kind of creep everybody out? Like in terms of like I guess horror movie genres. That kind of freak you out the most. I'll type my thing right here. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but ghosts freak me out as far as like Halloween things. So, in terms of all the genres like slashers and like demons or like monsters, like I don't know what it is, but ghosts freak me out. Like anything ghost related is just like And yet I have like a sick curiosity. I enjoy watching the ghost shows and stuff sometimes, just for fun. But yeah. Squalus asper. Okay, there we go. Valid name Cirrhigaleus asper. Gotcha. So yeah, that's what I thought. Let's check out Cirrhigaleus asper. So what I kind of want to check out is I kind of want to see if Cirrhigaleus asper is like a little thinner, you know, and looks maybe more like a dogfish, like a classic dogfish. I doubt it, but I just thought it was an interesting note. HI. There it is. Oh, look at that! That does look a bit thinner. If that's like a pretty accurate illustration. That does look a bit thinner. Because our boy, the Mandarin Dogfish, that's a lot chonkier. It's kind of cool. I kind of like that concept that this actually bridges Cirrhigaleus with Squalus. That's actually really cool as an idea. Interesting. So I think with that, I kind of want to check out everything. Okay, yeah, I don't see any other notes except actually here we go. See this illustration right here? This is kind of like what we were talking about, where like see how the teeth are like lined up and they're super flat, but they're lined up so closely and so tightly packed together. So I think we're all right that like it's probably kind of like a crushing tooth type of some sort. That's super cool. Look how neatly those line up. That's crazy. Roy, cults, ghosts, and zombies. Good mix. Howard, probably demons, but his use of suspense makes a good horror movie. And aliens. Nice. Oh, man. Have you guys seen Prometheus at all, by the way? I've been kind of on the fence whether or not to watch it. I know it's a bit older now, but because I've seen Alien and Aliens. I've not seen Alien 3 because I've heard it's kind of not that great. And then Prometheus kind of intrigued me, but I haven't seen that at all. And it's been out for a long, long time, but kind of curious about that. Oh, the movie. Oh, Nope. Roy, the movie Nope perfectly encapsulates my fear of just outerworldly animals. Ooh, that's a new Jordan Peele movie. Jordan Peele's awesome. Like he did Get Out, which was really good film, really really freaky movie, but very very good. And I forget the other one he did. It's like what is it? It's not. This is. I forget what it is. It's like the one where it's like Lupita. I think Lupita Nyong'o is in it. It's like the Mirror family, like the creepy version of the family. I totally forget which one that is. I've heard it was good. I've not seen it. It looks really really creepy. Yeah. Anything by Ari, is it Ari Aster who did Hereditary? I cannot watch anything he does. He did Midsummer as well. I cannot do it. I swear I cannot possibly do it. Like, it's just like, what Why do I keep clicking the paint brush? Sorry about that. He goes hard, and I'm like, I can't do it. Roy, Prometheus is pretty good. Okay, so I'll have to check it out. That might be my Halloween movie, because I'm a little spooked out this year. Or, like, last year I got super spooked out. So, although, actually, if you, like, hold on. If you have a vague curiosity about ghost shows, because, like, for me, I kind of like, I don't really believe the ghost part, but it's more so like the historic location part that I think is kind of interesting, where they go to these creepy locations. Destination Fear is nuts. Like, that's a really good one. So I definitely recommend it if you want something that goes a little bit like harder than most ghost shows, and yet it's still not goofy. I mean, it's kind of goofy, but it's like it's a fun trip. It's more so about like exploring creepy locations. Like, this team stays overnight in creepy locations, and it's like, yeah, like that one keeps me up. That's a pretty freaky one. But anyway, so this is really cool, this whole thing about saying that Cirrhigaleus asper is kind of like might be a link species between Squalus and the Mandarin Dogfish. So I kind of want to take a look at, with that in mind, the this thing, untangling the systematic dilemma between the rough-skinned spur dog Cirrhigaleus asper. I keep saying asper, like, I guess it's asper. I don't know. With phylogeny of Squalidae and a key to Cirrhigaleus species. So it sounds like this is actually kind of a problematic species. It sounds like this one is kind of giving taxonomists a little bit of trouble. So let's check it out. I think this might be kind of an interesting article. I think this is pretty new. This is 2023. I think this came out. Received October 2022, accepted 2023. So yeah, this is a brand new, hot off the press article, published in PLOS ONE by Sarah Viana and Carla D.A. Soares. So let's check this out. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Ghost Adventures. Sorry, Aurora, I just saw your comment. Ghost Adventure, super silly. I like, sometimes, like, I used to, like, when I was kind of growing up, I kind of hated that show, and then I kind of embraced the silliness, and it's like, it's fun. Like marathoning it with like a good snack is kind of like a fun thing to do. My brother and I do that quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but like some Halloweens we've done that together, where we just like goof off and like watch Ghost Adventures. And it's just like, it's the same thing in terms of like going to spooky locations, and that part is pretty cool. But it's just like the Zach Baggins madness is like just hilarious. So, but let's see what this is about. Cirrhigaleus comprises a small genus of rare barbel-berried dogfish sharks with distributions in limited regions of all oceans. Genetic validity and taxonomic status of some species are upon controversies by morphological and molecular evidence that often suggests reallocation of Cirrhigaleus species into the genus Squalus. Interesting. So this is a cool little taxonomic battleground. Particularly the rough-skinned spur dog, Cirrhigaleus asper, exhibits intermediary morphological characteristics within Squalidae that requires clarification. In the present study, a phylogenetic approach was undertaken to test the correct generic placement of Cirrhigaleus asper using novel and revised morphological characters. We performed maximum parsimony analyses of 51 morphological characters of the internal neurocranium, classic cartilages, pectoral and pelvic girdles, and external anatomy applied to 13 terminal taxa. Cirrhigaleus represents a valid genus and is supported by 8 synapomorphies. So, just as a vocab, I think synapomorphy is like shared derived trait. Let me make sure I got that right. That's good, like solid college level biology. Okay, synapomorphy, a characteristic present in an ancestral species and shared exclusively in more or less modified form by its evolutionary descendants. So, like a good example, I guess, of a synapomorphy is flukes in whales. So it's a unique trait that only whales have. That's kind of like a really basic example, but all cetaceans are united by this synapomorphy. It's like the fluke is something that only whales have. No other animal has it like that. Let's see. I guess probably a better example is. I'm trying to think of a better example. Like, I guess like bats having hand wings, or like wings that are analogous to hands, and like how those work. That's like a synapomorphy for bats. So yeah, I'm trying to think of some other ones, like some better ones for sharks. Oh yeah, okay, the cephalofoil for hammerheads. That's a synapomorphy for hammerheads. So that's something that all hammerheads have, and that's something that is a shared derived trait for that branch of sharks. So there we go. That's a much better example. So anyway, okay. So Cirrhigaleus represents a valid genus and is supported by 8 synapomorphies, a high number of monospondylus vertebrae, medial nasal lobe supported by fleshy core and innervated by the buccopharyngeal branch of the facial nerve. This is pretty intense science. Neurocranium with greatest width across nasal capsules, 1 facet and 1 condyle in the pubiosciatic bar for articulating with the basipterygium. This is advanced anatomy. 2 intermediate segments between the basipterygium and the pelvic fin, and the axial cartilage of the claspers. 5 terminal clasper cartilages, and posterior medial process of the pubosciatic bar absent. What's kind of cool is, like, in all of that, is there anything about the barbels? Medial nasal lobe supported by fleshy core. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't know if they really mention the barbels at all. Interesting. So, because it's like, it looks like it's like the most obvious feature, but it's kind of interesting. Okay. Cirrhigaleus asper is a sister species to a small clade comprising Cirrhigaleus barbifer, so our Mandarin dogfish, and Cirrhigaleus australis, which is the new species, which is supported by 1 synapomorphy, presence of conspicuous cusplets in the dermal denticles. Cirrhigaleus barbifer, Cirrhigaleus asper, and Cirrhigaleus australis are redescribed herein, and the neotype of Cirrhigaleus barbifer is designated. What is a neotype? Sounds really cool. A type specimen that is selected subsequent to description of a species to replace a pre-existing type that has been lost or destroyed. So that's cool. So if I'm reading that correctly, I believe Cirrhigaleus asper was the type specimen for this genus, and it sounds like they're replacing it with Cirrhigaleus barbifer. So it's like the Mandarin dogfish is now the type species, or the type species or type specimen for the entire genus of Cirrhigaleus. So that honor used to be Cirrhigaleus asper, but it looks like it shifted to Cirrhigaleus barbifer. It's pretty cool. Very, very interesting. I mean, if you're ever interested in shark taxonomy and shark classification, this is a battleground that I didn't realize was going on. A key to Cirrhigaleus species is also given, and the interrelationships within Squalus is tentatively discussed. So let's check this out. We won't read the whole thing, of course, but we'll just kind of like scan through this. Sounds pretty cool. Ooh, Howard, this is cool. Cool movie suggestion. A good one would be someone time traveling ends up in the Permian era. That would be insane. Isn't there a movie? Have you guys seen this movie? Adam Driver's in it. It's like he somehow goes back in time and he lands up in the Cretaceous. And like it's weird because it got a lot of marketing, but I don't think I heard anything about it. Because like I think it got a lot of marketing in the spring, and then it just was like it kind of disappeared. Like I don't know what happened to it. But Kylo Ren fights dinosaurs. I don't know. It looked a little goofy to me, but if you guys seen it, let me know. I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are on that. I totally forget the title of it, but yeah, Permian era like survival would be crazy. Like creepy time travel to the Permian would be awesome. But let's see. Okay. English names for the three Cirrhigaleus species are the Mandarin Dogfish, the rough-skinned spur dog, and the southern Mandarin Dogfish. So, barbifer is our Mandarin Dogfish, Asper is the rough-skinned spur dog, and then Australis is the southern Mandarin Dogfish. So, interesting. Dun, 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 dun. We talked about how... oh, look at this! Cirrhigaleus asper is recognized in the Western Indian and Atlantic Oceans, and in Hawaiian Islands. Interesting. Originally, the genus Cirrhigaleus was described as monotypic, and the main diagnostic characteristic attributed to its members was the presence of elongate mustache-like nasal barbels. The distinctive nasal barbel, short or elongate, is an extension from the medial lobe of the anterior nasal flap of the nostrils, and is believed to be the only efficient external diagnostic character of the genus. Okay. Due to morphological similarities between species of Cirrhigaleus and Squalus, the validity of Cirrhigaleus as a separate genus within the family Squalidae, as well as the correct generic allocation of particularly Cirrhigaleus asper, are upon incessant taxonomic discussions. I kind of love that. It means, like, we can't stop talking about this. That's really funny. So, hot debate. Let's see. According to Cirrhigaleus and Squalus, share similar characteristics: dorsal fin spines, spiracles, dermodenticles. They think Cirrhigaleus is a subgenus of Squalus. Okay, these are a bunch of characters that we don't need to go through. I like the sentence. Cirrhigaleus asper, described from the Seychelles in the Western Indian Ocean, is the only species within the genus that bears anterior margin of nostrils elongate but non-mustache-like, a condition similar to those species of Squalus. So the species has been often misidentified with other Squalus species. Interesting. And it says it's similar to Squalus acanthius, which is our piked dogfish, and I'm not sure who Squalus plainbelly is, but interesting. So this is kind of cool. So Cirrhigaleus asper is a very problematic species. It is so similar to the other Squalus that they're like, well, wait a minute, should this really be its own thing? Shouldn't it be a kind of Squalus in general? Let's see. It's a missing link between two genera. So. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is kind of cool. For these authors, Squalus comprises of 4 groups of species. The Squalus acanthius group, so our classic dogfish group, or pike dogfish group. Squalus mitsukuri group, the Squalus megalops group, and the Squalus asper group. The latter group is represented by both Cirrhigaleus asper and our Mandarin dogfish, Cirrhigaleus barbifer, which are characterized by absence or weakly evident of upper precaudal pit. Let's see. Oh gosh, so even this summary is kind of like, wow. So much debate on where this species belongs as far as sharks go. So, interesting. Okay. We talked about synapomorphies. We won't go into the deep anatomy on this. The authors suggested Cirrhigaleus is a potential junior synonym of Squalus. Controversies of morphological molecular evidence have raised the debate regarding the taxonomic dilemma behind Cirrhigaleus asper and the validity of Cirrhigaleus, requiring reinvestigation. I love this. We don't know what this is. Like, it's so funny. Okay, the present study thus aimed to elucidate the correct generic allocation of Cirrhigaleus asper and discuss the phylogenetic relationships of Cirrhigaleus within Squalidae through a phylogenetic approach. So, we don't need to go through all this. This is all the stuff that they did. Ooh. That's cool. Specimens were photographed with a digital camera in different views and specific body structures. Photographs of teeth and dermal denticles. The specimens were taken using a high-resolution digital camera. Skeletal structures and individual parts were illustrated using the ink on paper technique or schematic drawing using digital photography. Cool. Okay, so hope we get some cool images. It's kind of gross, but we've got yeah, it's a little. I think it's probably a little too. I think I understand that this is like so anterior margin of the nostrils, but it's a little gross. Well, we could keep going from this. This is kind of cool. Neurocranium of the species of Cirrhigaleus and Squalus in dorsal view. So we've got our Mandarin Dogfish right here in A. We've got the Australis species in B, and those actually look very different. This looks a lot bigger. Squalus sucklei, this is the Pacific spiny dogfish in C. That looks completely different. Squalus megalops, I forget which one that is, in D, and then Squalus mitsukurii in E. So yeah, it's kind of cool seeing, yeah, these look completely different. And even though I don't know exactly specifically what these features are, it's kind of cool seeing that you have FOPP. I think it's probably in here somewhere. Where is this? Okay. Well, anyway, like it's even though I don't know specifically what that feature is, it is kind of cool seeing like here's FOPP in this species, here is FOPP in this species, and you can see that they're very different in placement. It's kind of cool comparing all these features and like seeing how distinct they are from each other in terms of like it's not just like the obvious differences like this part of the rostrum is much wider, this is pretty square, this is very narrow. It's kind of cool. But we'll keep going. See if we can get some cooler images. That's a little too much. But actually, this is a good showcase of just how crazy it can get and how detailed it can get in terms of like studying different features. And like as far as anatomy, like how the subtlest differences can help you identify a species. So, like this kind of level is let's see, sometimes very important as far as delineating species goes. So A is once again our Mandarin Dogfish, and I think it looks like they're keeping the same positions for everything else. Yep. So we've got Pacific spiny dogfish in C. We've got the, I guess the southern Mandarin Dogfish in B. So you can see differences here. We'll keep going. Yeah. Don't really want to spend too much time on like I'll go slowly, but I don't want to spend too much time on like anatomy, like specific shark parts. I don't know how exciting that is personally, but it kind of depends on the part. But because this is super detailed, so yeah, this is like really advanced. This is kind of interesting. I think, is this part of the fin? Yeah, detailed cartilage of the clasper in Squalus species. In dorsal, ventral, terminal. Okay. I don't think our Mandarin Dogfish is here, so we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Oh, here we go. This is kind of cool. Okay, so something that's like a little bit more recognizable. So a ventral view of the head in Cirrhigaleus species surrounding navel barbels and upper labia furrows. So here in A is our Mandarin Dogfish. B is the southern Mandarin Dogfish, and you can see that that barbel is touching the lower jaw, Looks like our Mandarin Dogfish, the barbel's not reaching that far. And then you have Cirrhigaleus aspirans C, which is like no barbel at all. That's actually kind of wild looking. Or it's like very tucked in. So, but that's a really wild difference actually. Let me catch up on comments as well. No, there were no vegetarians in the Permian. Nice. Yeah, Permian was a cool period. Is it Dimetrodon? Dimetrodon is one of the coolest things. I remember as like a Permian staple creature. Or some other cool Permian animals. And yeah, just quick shout out to Dimetrodon, by the way. I was traveling to West Virginia for just a random trip, and they at the visitor center they actually had a Dimetrodon skeleton, which I was blown away by. This is like literally just a welcome center for West Virginia. Like you literally pull over, and it's a full blown Dimetrodon skeleton, which is like, what is this doing here? But I didn't even know you could find fossils like that. I'm assuming it is from the state, like from West Virginia's like geologic like fossil record. But yeah, Dimetrodon. Just quick shout out to this Permian badass, pretty wild predator. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, Howard. Is this the same group of reptiles that there's something about them that actually is more closely related to mammals, or do I have that wrong? Is it because like this is a group of reptiles that would one day become the dinosaurs, and this is not it. This is you can even see this is a really good illustration of like the way the legs are, like how splayed they are. Like dinosaurs famously have their legs right underneath the body carriage, whereas lizards and things like Dimetrodon have them out wide. So this is not a dinosaur, even though it looks like a lot like one. Like the legs look completely different. But I thought Dimetrodon was somewhere along the line of like part of the group of reptiles that some of them became mammals. Am I right on that, or am I completely off on that? Is this a completely different group? Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay. That is correct. They were mammal-like. Awesome. Whew. Thank you. Yeah, I was getting a little nervous because I thought it was the case, but just want to make sure. Paleospinax was a cool Permian shark. Let's check that out really quick. Paleospinax. Oh, wait, what? There we go. Also, by the way, I see that we have multiple viewers. Welcome. This is a shark study party. You're welcome to comment. We have a star shark every night, but we meander all the time, and yeah, we just kind of like cover a lot of different subjects at once. So tonight's the Mandarin Dogfish, but we're taking a quick little break to shout out to Paleospinax, which is this is a pretty cool shark. But feel free to comment if you have any questions on anything. Yeah. Very cool. I'm assuming this is kind of why I think Google is getting a little worse, but I'm assuming let's see. I do get a little worried when people search for information. This is a really cool tooth, though. I don't think I've ever seen a tooth with 5 cusplets. That's pretty wild, actually. That's really cool. Let's check Paleospinax. I wonder if Wikipedia has maybe a little image on that. Nope, it does not. Okay. I'm just really curious. I want to check out like kind of a cool. Here we go. Last my research is probably okay. Yeah, this website rocks. Yeah, this is actually an OG. Awesome website. Okay. It doesn't have a illustration of Paleospinax, but the tooth is awesome. That's actually really cool. So, okay. It's been a while since we've seen this, but Biology of Sharks Are Rays, elasmoresearch.org. This is an awesome, awesome website. It's a little bit older, but it's pretty solid. So definitely recommend it. A lot of cool information on it. But yeah, let's get back to. They're complete specimens of Paleospinax. Whoa. They're flying reptile-like creatures, as well as a lot of carnivorous reptile ancestors. Really cool. I'm trying to think. There's one. Did you guys ever see Walking with Dinosaurs? Cause that was an awesome special. There's one I distinctly remember. And here's the thing: Walking with Dinosaurs has been redone a couple times, and I feel like it gets worse like every time they redo it. But the original 90s one was pretty insane. Although I have not seen, I think there was a brand new one that might have, sorry, what am I saying? Permian. My brain's not working. Permian. I think there's a recent one that was pretty good. I guess this is what I'm thinking of. Ooh, okay, yeah. So sorry, there was a large reptile that I was kind of thinking of. Is it this one, Gorgonops? Gorgonops. Okay, that's a cool thing. Oh, that's crazy. Let me just Google that, because I don't want to. Usually these websites kind of do take up a lot of energy. Okay, that's a crazy, crazy reptile. Ah, man, that's actually absolutely terrifying. Because, you could tell this thing runs fast. Yeah, a Permian horror. I am all down for a Permian horror movie. That would be amazing to watch. Because that is a terrifying thing. Actually, you know what it kind of reminds me of? So it does remind me of a saber-toothed tiger, or Smilodon. Smilodon is the thing. But what's kind of funny is, I think... There you go, Smilodon. So what's kind of funny is, I feel like this group of animals gets a little underrated and does not get enough attention in terms of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe as far as humans go and human evolution, and if anything was a predator of humans, it was the big cats. These were things that were super, super equipped to hunt humans down. And another good kind of horror movie suggestion would be, surviving against a Smilodon. I kind of forget my fossil record as far as when the overlap was between the group of these saber-toothed cats and ancient humans, but or ancient human ancestors. But yeah, these are terrifying, and I would never ever want to be on the receiving end of this. So anyway, sorry, that was a cool little break, cool little fossil break. Gorgonops, they were cannibalistic. Yikes! Wow. Although I shouldn't say yikes, because a lot of sharks are cannibalistic. A lot of sharks actually will do that as well. Gorgonops is just a T-Rex in cat mode. Nice. Yeah, it's actually really cool that I'm assuming Gorgonops is probably in the same kind of grouping as. Let's check that out really quick. Sorry, this is super fascinating. Oh man, that's a crazy looking animal. So yeah, let's see what group this was in. Yeah, okay. Theraspida. Theraspida is a major group of, oh god, Eupelicosaurian synapsids that includes mammals, their ancestors and relatives. So that's actually extremely cool. So this was like, so Gorgonops is one of this, big group of crazy reptiles that, like, it's actually kind of cool they made that comment that's kind of cat-like, because it is part of like the larger group of like animals that one day would give rise to mammals, or like mammals are part of that group. So examples of non-mammalian therapsids. These are cool. Man. I wonder what Dimetrodon is in relation to all of this. Oh, okay, yeah. So Dimetrodon is a synapsid. So these were... The synapsids were once the dominant land animals in late Paleozoic, but the only extant group that survived into the Cenozoic are the... Oh, no, that's not it. Isn't there something, like, aren't these, like... Whoop. Sorry, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I just saw a notification on my computer that my disk is almost full. So just in case I somehow cut out on the stream, that's what happened. So let's go back to the shark. Sorry about that. If the stream cuts out, it's just because, like, I think just the software records to my computer, just to make sure there's like a backup copy. But if the stream cuts out, that's what happened. We'll go back to the Mandarin Dogfish, just in case. Want to make sure that we maximize our time with our special shark. So, but that was a cool little break. So, here we go. So we got dermal denticles of Cirrhigaleus. Our Mandarin Dogfish is A through C. So these are actually really beautiful looking. They almost look like kind of like I don't know if it's like the music kind of making me think this, but they kind of look like bats or dragons a little bit, just like a cool little motif right here, like like a weird like emblem. These look cool. Very distinct looking dermal denticles. We've got Australis, D through H. Yeah, D through H. So these are all the dermal denticles of the southern Mandarin shark. And then Cirrhigaleus asper is I through L. Now this is interesting. So the Mandarin dogfish and the southern Mandarin dogfish have these really cool, like, dragon-like, Skyrim-like denticles, which is kind of cool. And then Cirrhigaleus asper does not. It has pretty normal-looking, squashy, denticles. Not as dramatic looking. So that's a pretty big difference. If this is all in the same genus, that's actually a pretty big difference. So I don't know. I'm kind of supporting the idea that maybe Cirrhigaleus asper is just like not supposed to be Cirrhigaleus. I kind of see where the debate is starting now, because dermal denticles are usually a pretty good indicator to help tell species apart. It's a pretty big feature, and that's really different. That is like miles different from each other. Like these top two rows versus the bottom row. That's really different. For something that's allegedly so close. So interesting. Oh, okay. A strict consensus cladogram of the two equally most proximus cladograms. Let's see. So this is saying that the Mandarin dogfish and the southern Mandarin dogfish are very close, and that they're an in-group versus Cirrhigaleus asper, and that all the Cirrhigaleus are sister groups of Squalus. And none of this is really shocking right here. This tracks pretty well. What's kind of cool is like all of these are an in-group versus the cookie cutter shark right here. We talked about that one 2 weeks ago. And then the kitefin shark, Delacius licca, is an outgroup to that. So kitefin shark, cookie cutter shark, We got pike dogfish here. We got the Pacific spiny dogfish here. These I'm not as familiar with. They are different kinds of dogfish. Then we got our Mandarin dogfish here in barbifer. And we got this spur dog. Cirrhigaleus asper is a spur dog. That is under a lot of debate. Oh boy. Let's see. Simplified cladograms of previous phylogenetic hypotheses for Squalidae, highlighting the relationships of Cirrhigaleus species, thick red branches. Interrelationships between the three major groups of species within squalus are also shown. So these are different classifications. That's not insane. No, none of this is looking nuts to me. That looks pretty much on the same page. Yep, this is just a lot of discussion. Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, check this out. Okay, map of the geographical distribution of Cirrhigaleus species. Stars, type material, dots, or other material. The red symbols are the Mandarin dogfish. So, like we talked about, it's in Japan, Taiwan, and Indonesia. It's not in Australia or New Zealand. And again, Howard pointed that out, so thank you, Howard. The green symbols are the southern Mandarin dogfish in Australia and New Zealand. And then Cirrhigaleus asper is, or the spur dog, is kind of weird. It's very different. It's in the Indian Ocean, South Africa, South America, and the Gulf of Mexico. So that's actually pretty distinct. Because it's like these two, not that far away from each other, and then this is, kind of a. I think there's a lot of arguments for how these could be definitely distant clads. So. Oh, here we go. We've got these are photographs of our shark tonight. This is the Mandarin dogfish. Look at this. The spine is kind of clipped off or broken off. That's interesting to see that again. Right here. Yeah, because that spine should be much higher. Actually, yeah, the second dorsal spine is gone too for the first specimen. Second specimen kind of has a break in the first spine. Second spine is, very strong. Interesting. Beautiful photograph of the teeth of our Mandarin dogfish. So super flat on a single belt. Very cool. Not sure what the coloring means, but it's really beautiful to look at, actually. Also, thank you, Howard. Sorry about that. It was just all the comment audio was going in and out a little bit. Let me zoom in on this. This is really cool to see. I love how interlocking these are too. Like, check this out. See how, like, there's kind of like this big, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like kind of like this big root, right? And it's like playing in pretty nicely into this like hollow space right here. So it like makes this like beautiful chain, like this kind of like almost interlocking chain. Like between like the recurve and then like this kind of like fat base right here. I mean, I think our theory or our hypothesis that these are crushing teeth, I think it's very supported. I think this tooth type, like, just seeing the teeth all together like this, I think we're pretty accurate in that. So. First and second dorsal fins, A and B, oh, interesting. Wait a minute. First A and B, and second C and D dorsal fins of The Mandarin Dogfish showing interspecific regional variations. So, A and C is from Japan. B and D is from Indonesia. So this is interesting. So it looks like this spine, if this is the first dorsal fin, this is the second dorsal fin. It looks like the spine, I guess, varies. So this is not really necessarily a distinguishing characteristic. Like maybe some Mandarin dogfish, I don't know, if I'm reading that correctly, this might not be specimen damage, and this might not be clipped off. Like this actually might be something that about this shark, where some individuals have these really like massive spines, and then some individuals don't. It could be like a weird, I don't know, like genetic like mutation or something like between populations of the same species. That's pretty interesting. I don't know. That's kind of crazy, actually. Interspecific regional variations. And it's the same species. Hold on. Interspecific means within a species. So, yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, this is not a good example, but you think about, like, this is not a good example, but, like, dogs, you know? So, like, a husky and a Labrador Retriever, it's the same species. They look completely different, but it's the same species. I guess there's something similar going on here. So that's kind of interesting. It's a little shocking that this could be the same species, but like the fin spine can be so different. So I wonder why that is. And I'm just kind of scanning this. The first dorsal fin spine not reaching the fin apex and neotype, its length corresponding to... Yeah, they're just saying, like, yeah, I guess the original species doesn't have a tall spine, but, you know, other species... Or, sorry, the original individual does not have a tall spine, but the other ones do. I don't know. It's weird. Huh. There we go. Nice shots of the fins. Oof. This is a very damaged specimen, but again, it's interesting seeing like the spines are huge. That the one on the second individual, I think we saw this photograph earlier, enormous second dorsal fin spine. Let's see. This is interesting. Cirrhigaleus barbifer has been regularly confused with Cirrhigaleus australis in the South Pacific Ocean due to their morphological similarities regarding body size and shape, length of nasal barbels and dorsal fin spines, and shape of dorsal fin and caudal fins, as well as shape and size of dermal denticles. Just kind of scanning this. Okay. First dorsal fin spine length reaches up to half of first dorsal fin height and never transcends first dorsal fin apex in juveniles, while first dorsal fin spine length is over half of first dorsal fin height and conspicuously transcends first dorsal fin apex in adults. So, okay. So it looks like adult Mandarin dogfish have huge spines, and then the little guys, the spines are smaller. Second dorsal fin spine is also smaller in juveniles than in adults, reaching or mostly often transcending the second dorsal fin apex in adults, but not so often in juveniles. Gotcha. Okay. So the bigger the shark is, the bigger the spines are, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of going with the Mandarin dogfish theme. It's kind of like, with years of wisdom, you have like a bigger mustache. I don't know. Just like, it's such a weird thing. But anyway, so kind of applying that back to like the footage, this is probably, fairly sized guy. Probably getting close to, I would not call this one a juvenile since the spines are pretty large on its body. That's really cool. So, probably getting close to adulthood, if not an adult already. This one, same thing, kind of getting there. I would say this is definitely not a juvenile either. Very cool. This guy, also, getting closer to probably an adult, since the fin spines are so huge. That's really cool. We've never talked about a shark like this before. That's actually really, really cool, where you can kind of get an idea of how old it is based on how big the spines are in relation to the body. So this is also, so all of these are like pretty much adults or close to being an adult. That's actually really cool. So. Howard, very cool in identifying its ontogeny. Yep, very, very cool. Like, it's pretty unique feature for the species, so it's awesome. And I wonder, I would imagine for Cirrhigaleus australis, probably a similar thing might be going on. Let's see. External morphology of Cirrhigaleus barbifer also varies regionally. Indonesian specimen has pectoral fins very narrow. Let's see. These variations may be due to the preservation conditions in Indonesia material, but a more throughout taxonomic investigation should be considered in the future in order to clarify the existing morphotypes in a region. Interesting. Okay. Very cool. Okay. We won't get into too much of the stuff for Cirrhigaleus asper. We'll kind of find that in the discussion. These are spur dog teeth. Look at that, actually. Look at that. We keep talking about how Mandarin dogfish teeth are very flat. Cirrhigaleus asper, which is the spur dog, more pointed. Very interesting. So I'm kind of on the team of like, yeah, maybe Cirrhigaleus asper is like its own thing. Like maybe it shouldn't be in the same genus because there's a lot of things that look super different. Oh yeah. Even the pectoral fins look really different because they're a lot more like pointed and there's more of like a deep like kind of curve in the Mandarin dogfish. So, and this looks so thin. Oh yeah, this is so interesting. Like I kind of like the idea. Okay, I see why people are debating this. Like that's really cool. Very very very. It does look like a weird intermediary between the Mandarin dogfish and then, like a pike dogfish. And then here's the southern Mandarin dogfish, which also looks kind of thin, but has like the big barbels and the big spines. And also has flat-ish teeth, but arguably not as flat as our dogfish, so pretty cool. Also, by the way, since it's 10:30, we should think about shark for next week. And still spooky season, so any shark that might fit with a spooky theme. Dogfish are always great, but yeah, any like deep water sharks or anything that fits in with like kind of a creepy Halloween vibe. Love to hear any suggestions. I'll try to think of some as well. And I think that's actually it for this paper. But we did learn a lot. I know that was kind of like a long comb over, but like comb over. What am I saying? Like whatever. Like combing through it. Comb over is a weird haircut. But anyway, so like I know there's like kind of like a long dissection, but we actually learned something really cool, that the dorsal fin spines correlate to how old the shark is, which is really, really awesome. So prominent fin spines means it's an older animal, which I think that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I'll kind of scan through some other Mandarin Dogfish stuff, and actually I do want to pull up. I think I accidentally closed out a really good clip. I do want to pull it up again. This one. This was a really cool clip. No ads. No, damn it. I don't want the granola bar. I hate granola bars. We'll let that do its stupid thing. Because the footage is worth it. I do want to check out how tall the spines are in this clip. Here we go, because this was a really clear shot of this really beautiful shark. And I think I forget if it was Howard or Roy who mentioned it earlier, but the barbels were speckled. This is a really good observation. I actually didn't notice that before. So, oh, okay. So yeah, right. This was the clip where we had we were talking about like were these clipped. So I'm wondering if, because the type specimen also had a weird small dorsal spine in the first dorsal fin, I'm wondering if maybe this is not damaged at all. Like maybe this is actually one of the variations of this species. Just like this, just like the individual is speckled. Like maybe like the low first dorsal fin spine is actually just maybe a natural morphological character. So. The second dorsal fin spine is kind of getting up there, kind of based on the color and the size of this shark. I would hesitate to call this a juvenile. I would not think. I think this is probably getting closer up there as well. It looks pretty grown to me. Sorry, I do love this clip. Like, I kind of love how clear the footage is, and like how the shark just kind of is patrolling underneath the spider crabs, just like, like it doesn't care. That's really cool. Nice attitude. It's a cool guy. He kind of reminds me of like a cat a little bit. So, but anyway. Oh, interesting. Oh, Howard, good call. They seem to be closer to dogfish. Yeah, Cirrhigaleus asper, the spur dogs, possibly. That's a really good call. Pacific sleeper shark. I would be down for that. I would definitely be down for the Pacific sleeper. It is a gigantic, deep water, it is the cousin of the Greenland sleeper shark. And I don't know too much about the Pacific sleeper, but yeah, I'd be totally down for that. So let's do the Pacific sleeper shark next week. I'm gonna scan, I think, one more Mandarin Dogfish paper, but let's see. Somniosis. I don't know if I can. Sometimes the search is a little weird on this website. Yeah, I forget that. Let's see. This is probably my favorite shark website, but sometimes the search is a little odd. Let's go look up Somniosis. This is the Pacific sleeper shark. I think it's literally Somniosis pacificus. MNOP. There it is. Okay. Yep, this is it. Okay, yeah, Somniosis pacificus, the Pacific sleeper shark. I think that counts as a good spooky season shark. So yeah, that's going to be next week. So let's definitely. I'm all in. Yep, Pacific Sleeper Shark for next week sounds awesome. So awesome. Yeah, thank you for that suggestion, Howard. That's really cool. So yeah, let's see what else we got. I think this is probably an outdated article. Yeah, this is from 1971, and this is talking about how the Mandarin Dogfish was found in New Zealand, but we know that's bunk because it's actually a different species now. I don't know if this is kind of the same vein. First record of Mandarin Dogfish in Western Australia, but that again, that might be bunk because Australian species are different. Or, like, Australia has a different species altogether. Yeah, I think this one's outdated. We talked about this. The systematic dilemma. Let's see. This is just a random, or not random, but a little profile of the species. I think we've covered... Nope, no, this is different. Oh, this is actually a little confusing. This is interesting. Okay, so this is actually a really good example of why we have Latin names, because English names can be deceiving. So on the Australian Museum, they have a shark listed as the Mandarin shark, which is the same name as on IUCN Red List, right? But Mandarin shark is referring to Cirrhigaleus barbifer, whereas on this website, Mandarin shark is referring to Cirrhigaleus australis. So these are two different species. So yeah, that's actually a good cautionary tale. Be careful with English. Be careful with local languages, like as far as any kind of creature. The Latin names are the ones that are set in stone, and the ones that the entire world agrees on in terms of like what a species is, and they're very important as far as conservation goes. We have to agree on what a thing is before we make policy decisions in terms of how to protect it. So yeah, let's not read this article because it's just not our species. Same thing here. It's the same thing, same mistake. Or it's not a mistake, but same thing to watch out for. This is Mandarin shark, but this is referring to a different species. So let's get rid of that. You know what? I think what we'll do is, this did catch my eye, and I do want to go over this really quickly because it's a really cool concept. It's not a very deep article, but it's kind of a cool idea. And I think we might wrap up maybe like a smidge early tonight. So, because I think we're close to the end as far as the Mandarin Dogfish. But this is kind of cool. So examples of anti-tropical and anti-equatorial distribution of Indo-West Pacific fishes. So this is pretty short, but I did want to touch base on this because it's kind of a cool term. So, in 1952, a researcher named Hubbs introduced the term anti-tropical distribution in reference to species found north and south of the tropical zone, but not in the tropics. To this may be added the term anti-equatorial distribution for those animals and plants that occur north of the Tropic of Cancer and north of the Tropic of Capricorn, south of the Tropic of Cancer and north of the Tropic of Capricorn, but not within the equatorial latitudes. The following species of Indo-West Pacific fishes not mentioned by Hubbs exhibit anti-tropical or anti-equatorial distribution. So that's actually really cool. Species that you can find in the northern and southern hemisphere, but not in the middle. It's kind of a cool concept, and I kind of like the term, actually. But some things that kind of caught my eye, we got Cirrhigaleus, the smooth hammerhead. So, and that's really cool because I've always known this one was odd in terms of like smooth hammerheads are probably like the highest tolerance for cold water as far as hammerheads go, because most hammerheads are tropical. So it was really cool to see Cirrhigaleus in here. Smooth hammerhead is a hammerhead that can be found all the way up to Canada. It is, like the most chill with temperate environments, whereas scalloped hammerheads, great hammerheads, bonnetheads, they like warm water. So I thought it was really cool. And then Cirrhigaleus barbifer is mentioned, but that's a little weird. When you look back at the range map, it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure southern Japan is considered to be tropical, and even if it wasn't, I'm pretty sure Taiwan and definitely Indonesia are tropical. So I think this might be kind of an outdated article as well. So, but I still wanted to draw some attention to it because it's kind of a cool concept of like species that live north and south of the tropics but don't really go in the middle. So it's kind of a cool idea. The rest of these are not sharks. These are just different fishes, and I don't think any of these are really standing out to me. Actually, a lot of these, I don't know any of these names. I just know the sharks. I don't really know. I don't even know any of these because I'm an Atlantic guy, so I don't know any of these Pacific fishies. Wow, yeah, that's actually crazy. I don't recognize any of these genera other than the sharks. That's actually kind of crazy. So, shout out to the Indo-Pacific for having pretty unique wildlife. So, anyway, where is that really cool clip? Let's slow this down to have a lot of time for our species. But yeah, and let me catch up on the comments as well. Oh, cool. Howard, this is a cool concept. Could the speckles be a juvenile characteristic? That's a cool question. I don't know. I'm gonna guess that it could be, but because I know there are juvenile shark colors in different species. So, for example, bull sharks have black tips when they're young. I actually think a couple Carcharodontis sharks have black tips when they're young, and then they lose them when they get older. Tiger sharks famously have these spots when they're young, and tiger sharks lose those and get these beautiful bars when they get older. So, oh, and isn't the zebra shark? Zebra shark has the stripes when they're young, and then they get the beige speckles when they get older. Or no, sorry, leopard shark. Zebra shark. It is a zebra shark. Sorry. So that's a good thought. That's a good question. Are these speckles a juvenile characteristic? I'm gonna guess, like, gut feeling, I don't think so. I'm gonna guess that this is like a morph, like in terms of I think this color is gonna be something that's related to like I think it's a morph personally. I think this is just like some individuals have like the slate gray color, and some have this speckling pattern. I keep talking about sand tigers, but sand tigers are actually a pretty good example where it's the same species, but sand tigers can be this beautiful, straight, clean, bronzy color, or they can have pretty sharp demarcations between like this dark gray and a white belly, or they can have speckles as well. So sand tigers actually do have a lot of different color patterns. So that's my guess for this individual. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna guess that this is actually probably just like a morph, like a color morph of the Mandarin dogfish, as opposed to a stage. I think, yeah, I think for younger specimens that are collected, it probably I feel like that would have been noted, like across the research. So, but it's a good question and a really good concept. Since a lot of sharks do change color from their juvenile stage to their adult stage. So, but yeah. But I think we're going to wrap up pretty soon. But this was a really cool species and a unique group. These are very, not very rare, but pretty rare sharks that don't really get a lot of attention. We don't really know a lot about them. I'm happy to know that at least the Mandarin shark is doing okay. It's a least concerned species with a lot of grace and a lot of poise. I really appreciate like how, unique this species is in terms of like the enormous spines and like the prominent barbels. It's a strangely elegant shark as it swims through the water. So. And again, I think my favorite takeaway, aside from our Permian side tangent, that was a lot of fun, is just that the spines actually can indicate age in terms of like if the spines are very large on the species, then it means it's an older individual. So that's really cool. And this was a pretty chill Halloween night. I know Ninja Lantern Shark and Batman were a lot of fun, but it's cool to kind of like take a break a little bit and do kind of like a more pensive, spooky music study on the Mandarin Dogfish, a rare shark. But thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to wrap it up there, but next week we will do the Pacific Sleeper Shark, which I'm pretty sure gets really big. And I think they do get comparable in size to the famous Greenland shark. So it's going to be a cousin to the Greenland shark, but in the Pacific. So we're coming back to Somniosa Day and celebrating spooky season. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I hope you guys catch up on scary movies. I will try to make a good effort to watch Prometheus, or any suggestions you have. Please feel free to leave a comment on scary movies, and I will see if I can challenge myself. I've freaked myself out a lot last year, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm brave. And we've got two Halloween streams left, because all of October is Halloween to me. So, but thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great week. Take care, cheers, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one.